Welcome to episode 7 of my Citroen Relay van build. In this episode I'm going to be applying Dodo Thermoliner to the sides of my van. Whilst doing so, I'm going to get rather cross. It just fractures and breaks. It isn't fit for purpose. I'm also going to take a risk and speak a little about the topic of vapour barriers, which I know can be quite contentious. Now, I'm no expert with this Dodo liner. This is the first piece I've ever put on. But everything I've seen online and on other people's YouTube videos tells me that firstly, the backing can be a bit of a bugger to get off because it has a tendency to rip and not come off as you want it to. It's probably made worse by the fact that when you cut it, backing sheet tends to break in places, but I suppose that's better than the coil at the front breaking. Okay, and the second thing that I've learnt about this insulation, I have zero experience of yet, is that when it sticks, it sticks. So the best thing to do is to get it in place exactly where you want it. Before you put all the backing off, and gradually work down with the backing sheet and along with the insulation, getting it into place. 20 centimetres at a time, rather than trying to put the whole sheet on in one go. There we go, there's the backing sheet again. Apparently this is the Pro, which I believe is reputed to have a better backing sheet, so well, that's been one piece so far. I'm rather glad I got the Pro. I didn't rely on getting the standard because I think the standard might be really quite tricky. Could have been a bit better, left a bit of a gap at the top, got a bit of an overlap at the bottom, but it's my very first piece, so I'll forgive myself that and consider it to be a learning opportunity rather than a mistake. One thing I don't think I mentioned before was I did make myself a template for the corners of the rear door panels, and it's been very helpful, to be honest. I found that using the or making the template took me probably 2 or 3 goes to get right. Had I been doing that on the Thermoliner itself, then I would have no doubt wasted some Thermoliner, and well, cardboard's a lot cheaper than Thermoliner. I've had the cardboard out. I've produced a couple of templates, one for the top, one for the bottom. Here's trusty compass and the scissors. If anyone really is doing this how it looks on their YouTube channels and doing them in one go, then I'm very impressed with their technique, because it takes me generally 2, sometimes 3 times to get a template cut. But I'm not going to attempt to do this piece in one go, so I haven't cut any templates for the other end. I am going to look to do this sort of like a few sections at a time. I think that's going to be more economic with the Thermoliner. Okay, I've cut that piece, so hopefully the sizing works out. As always, the backing sheet manages to rip in parts rather than ripping as one continuous piece all the way down. And as tight as we can, as high as we can. Push that in, because this is quite important here, because essentially, given that this is the, make sure we get all the backing sheet off, essentially this is likely to be the predominant insulation form this section, because this is going to be where the internal flares go. That's not bad. My plan is to cover all of these areas with the 6mm, but I can't do that until I've got a good sense as to where I want to put rib nuts. Yet again, this is torn. You just get these pieces that just stay on the edge where you cut it. And I saw it on some of the other video. I saw a piece actually getting, when I did the back door, the piece being stuck up with it on there. Sorry, but it's just actually not very good. I don't know why they can't come up with a backing sheet that doesn't break when you cut it. And they constantly leave all these little pieces up the side. Frankly, it's not very impressive. Spend your time concentrating on trying to make sure you've got all of the backing sheet off, and you don't necessarily then stick it exactly where you want it. Oh well, rant over. Bullet dodged. Made a schoolboy error. Made a template for that corner, marked it out, cut it beautifully. Oh dear, sticky side on the outside. When you mark the template, you've got to either invert the template or you've got to mark it on the side that's going to be on the outside. So I should have been marking that on this corner. Stupid. So I got lucky though. Fortunately, all I need to do is turn around, and that is now a perfect fit for there. That's the first two panels done. Those are the panels obviously where I've taken out the supporting ribs and put a couple of sheets of Dodo sound deadener behind them to take the place of the ribs. One thing that I don't think I've seen anybody else talk about is here we have the ends of the bolts from the sliding track for the side door. I was undecided as to whether I should actually make those accessible or not, but in the end I concluded that I'd just cover them, get the installative value. I think this might be a good point to break in and have a quick chat about vapour barriers. Now, I'm not going to talk in depth about the theory of vapour barriers. There's already an excellent video out there by Greg Virgo where he gives a really detailed explanation of the theory behind vapour barriers, including going into dew points and various other technical explanations. And I'm not going to better his explanation, so I would suggest if you want to understand the background of vapour barriers, you have a look at that. But I am going to talk about my view on the application of vapour barriers. When most people think of a vapour barrier, they think of one of those, well, spaceship type vans where there's a foil lining everywhere in the van and it's all taped up, and the idea is to keep the vapour from getting beyond it to the insulation and to the metalwork of the van. My personal view is that, well, I don't think we're going to be able to achieve that level of barrier in a van. Not least because as soon as we put the barrier in, well, we're going to pierce it because we're going to be putting fixings in there, attaching things to the walls. And I just don't think we're going to have a perfect vapour barrier applied. The result of that is that moisture could get in, and then, as others have already said on other videos, moisture can't get out. So for me, a vapour barrier is brilliant in theory, but when it comes to a van, flawed in practice. However, I do think that there's potentially the scope for what I'm going to call localised vapour barrier. So whilst I'm not going to achieve a macro total barrier to vapour in my van, I am very happy with the fact that Dodo Thermoliner is in itself a barrier to vapour. And wherever I've applied it to the skin of the van, that will stop moisture getting to the metal underneath. So this is what I think of as a localised or a micro vapour barrier. I'm not trying to create a complete barrier to vapour, but I am trying to stop, as far as possible, the points at which moisture can interact with the panels of the van. However, because it's not a complete barrier, it means that if moisture does get in and around through holes in the van and gaps in the barrier, etc., it will still be able to get out. Hopefully it won't be trapped behind there. I'm finding that even with the very helpful markings on the back of the DodoLiner. That the risk is, with so many lines on the grid, you could end up actually, well, forgetting which line you're on. So I find it's easiest to actually mark an additional little line on there to make sure I'm following the correct black line. So let's see if this piece fits. Oh, helps if you turn it the right way up. That was slightly worrying for a moment. Yeah, that's got a good tight fit. A little bit of overlap at the bottom. The last two of those nuts for the sliding rail on the back are there, but I think that ship has sailed. Having hidden the ones under there, I don't think I've got really any choice but to go with the approach of keeping them hidden, and if I ever need to get to them, I'll have to cross that bridge when I come to it. It's also a bit tricky when you're trying to go on a curved section because it continues to want to rip again, but probably sounding like a broken record now. And if anyone from DodoLiner is watching, then I do apologise. I do like your product. It's probably user error anyway. If you know of a better way to do this, please shout out in the comments. By the time this video goes up, I'm guessing it'll probably be too late for me, but your comment might help somebody else. I suppose a couple of minutes complaining about the backing against, hopefully, years of a nice warm camper van. I guess that's the trade-off one needs to make. I've been trying to mull over this section of the van. I'm not quite sure exactly what to do here. I think, having put the deadening sheets on, I think what I'm going to do is get the DodoLiner up the front face. Part of the issue is in here we've got these very dirty at the moment polystyrene trays that, well, they fill in an area that otherwise is just straight onto the metal of the headliner. But if I put the 10mm DodoLiner on the side of this area, they'll no longer fit. So I'm mulling over whether I want to continue to have those in there. That one's been taken out. You can see a bit better there what that leaves without it, and whether to leave those out and stuff those with maybe some of the recycled bottle insulation. I think my plan is that I will look to, on this original tray, fill this with some PIR board. My thought process is that if I insulate this this section fairly well, then there's no reason to close this off from the rest of the van at any point. Even if we decide that we're going to close off the cab area that's got all the glass in it in cold weather in the evenings, we won't need to worry about closing off this section because it's, well, in the H3 it's quite a useful storage area. What I'm finding is you can't reach critical mass with templates. I've got so many templates now. Pretty much any corner you come to on the van, you'll find a template that already works for it, which is quite handy. So this was for a completely different part of the van, but for the purposes of Thermoliner, that's going to be absolutely good enough. Well, I've managed to get some Thermoliner in behind the cables on the sliding door. I think a lot of people tend to just go with the fleece there, but the worry, of course, is that the fleece is going to in some way interfere with the cables. So I'm quite pleased I've managed to get some Thermoliner behind there. It's a real patchwork quilt. There's some sections where there's some really small pieces that I've ended up sticking in, but better than nothing, and at least it meant I was able to use up some of the small bits of Thermoliner that were left over and otherwise would have been waste. I never want to be one of those people who isn't willing to admit their own mistakes. And mistakes I have made, one of the ones on this build has been the way I've been cutting this Thermoliner. I have now found that a knife really is the implement that you want to use, rather than what I was doing, which was trying to cut with scissors. It's not perfect. Still elements where the backing material breaks, but you get an awful lot cleaner cut as opposed to the scissors. The kind of up and down chopping action of the scissors is contributing considerably to the breaking of the backing material. As I start to form my patchwork quilt, I think it's probably sensible to mention that you do need to have a good look at what's going on here. This is actually the mechanism for opening this second door, and it runs all the way up the side of this cavity. So you do need to be careful. You could possibly interfere with that mechanism if you got your Thermoliner a little bit too deep in there and you were a little bit too keen to fill up all those gaps. But I think it's going to be, well, at least as well insulated as most of the vans I see. I have just been starting to do my my wheel arch, and if anyone's interested, this is a 140 centimetre long by 25 centimetre wide piece, and it works very well going over the top with just a couple of cuts in it to allow it to deal with the reducing radius as you come away from the side of the van. And then I think I should get away with a fairly flat piece that then goes on the front of the wheel arch. Well, I was very low on Thermoliner at this stage, so I actually ended up creating a bit of a patchwork quilt. It's not pretty, but I think it will do a good enough job. But that's me about out of Thermoliner for now, so that is going to bring this process to an end until I decide whether I need to buy another roll or not. Thank you for watching this episode. I hope my frustrations and annoyances were, well, amusing, if not particularly informative as to how to work with Dodo Thermoliner. Well, despite the short-term pain, I am pleased with my choice of Dodo Thermoliner. For me, it does 4 jobs in one. It gives me the thermal insulation. It gives me a degree of noise and vibration damping. It gives me a degree of a barrier to exterior sounds when I'm parked up. And finally, I think it gives me that, well, what I'm calling a localized vapor barrier, protecting the metal for the moisture that will inherently be in and around the van. So, frustrated or not in terms of the application, I think Dodo Thermoliner is a very good product because there aren't many things you can put in your van that do so many different jobs. Anyway, I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you in the next episode.